So, in response to Kyla's comment about books I like and stuff, here is my bookshelf. And so first off is Lee Child, which I have almost all his books and big fan of. I have not seen the movie. I heard it wasn't that great, and they're gonna plan to make more, so I'm not sure about that. And I think he has a new book out, so I have to get that one. And then moving on is a whole bunch of is my war, politics, and like religion stuff. These two I've not read. I'm not sure about reading them. I kind of don't want to. Heaven is for Real I bought and read, but you should take everything that is said in here as complete bullcrap. It is all lies. Creation Science I got at a garage store, and Paul I got a garage sale. Not garage store, garage sale. I've not read these two. See, I have propaganda cartoons of World War II. Here's a sample of what they are. So I don't know if you can see it really well, but yeah, just like cartoonists, right? Making, like trying to show what like the war was like. And they give some background, obviously, on the cartoons. This one is when I got it at the bookstore. It also has like a DVD of testimonies of Allied and Axis soldiers of their time in the Normandy campaign. Also has maps and stuff of like the D-Day landings. This I bought after seeing a video about it on the Mighty Jingo channel, A Higher Calling. It is like the book you should read. I'll read off the back. December 1943. A badly damaged American bomber struggles to fly over wartime Germany. At the controls is a 21-year-old Second Lieutenant Charlie Brown. Half his crew lay wounded or dead on their first mission. Suddenly, a measurement fighter pulls up on the bomber tail. The pilot is German ace Franz Stigler, and he can destroy the young American crew with a squeeze of a trigger. What happened next would defy imagination and later be called the most incredible encounter between enemies in World War II. Yes would later classify what happened between them as top secret. It is an act that Franz would never mention for fear of facing firing squad. It is an encounter that would haunt both Charlie and Franz for 40 years until, as old men, they would search the world for each other, a last mission that would change their lives forever. He escorted this stricken B-17 out of Germany, and he could have gotten court-martialed, and of course, death by firing squad for this, but he didn't mention it, and took them, 40 years to meet up again. This one is a true account of an American ambassador in the times of fascist Germany, and I think it best summed up as when good men do nothing, and that's how. And when good men do nothing, you let bad people take over. And a lot of bad things can happen. What is this? That I have not read, but I keep planning to. Last Stand of Tin Can Sailors is also a good book about a group of American destroyers and escort carriers fight off against the Japanese center force of most powerful battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. Also I have George Orwell's 1984 Animal Farm, which I think are must-haves. Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, because John Green kept pestering on his videos to go read it and buy it, and I bought it and read it and thought it was pretty cool. And this one was for our Mexico mission in 2014 about what it means to be a follower of Christ. The Art of War by Sun Tzu is an English translation of all his works, which I think is also another must-have of in your collection. Understanding here is a whole bunch of other stuff. Straphanger. it is a book I think everyone should read about public transportation. It goes into depths about like different cities like Phoenix, Arizona, which is basically suburban hell and has the worst transportation system, and talks about other things and about suburbia and all the culture around it. Also talks about other cities like Tokyo, Japan, and its efficiency on high-speed trains. It talks about Toronto's public transportation system. I can't remember that, but I haven't read the entire thing through, but I've read parts of it. It also talked about London and New York and how both those cities would not be existing today if they did not have their subways, and just a whole bunch of other cool things I think you should check out. This one, I've never read it, but I feel like it's a have in case you get stranded somewhere. Me and my friend found at a garage sale, and I won the vote in who gets to keep them all, and yeah, they're from the 1940s, and it is so cool. I'll show you a cover of them. Yeah, and these are the covers by these 1940s popular science, and of course it's all, you know, a lot about, you know, doing it yourself stuff, you know, in a wartime world, and a lot of, you know, wartime propaganda, and to join up the fight. What if I saw from Hank's livestream interview of the author? This answers the most ridiculous questions, like, could you, I think it was, like, use AK-47s to, like, launch yourself into the air? Like, how many AK-47s, like, just, like, to even go into space or something like that? What else is there? Yeah, famous speeches around the world, a timeline of World War II, every piece of equipment used by Allied and Axis forces during World War II. I've not read through the entire books, but I plan to one day. And let's see, this here is just Unquote Bathroom Readers, which are, I guess, if you don't know, they tell, like, you know, they're like kind of fact books, like really big, thick fact books. And then afterwards is Calvin Hobbes, which are some are super old. I have from like way young during when you get those Scholastic book orders. And then here's all my young adult stuff. This book will make you go into tears. Esther Earl's I guess, like, written accounts. I just cried. I read like 100 pages in like one night, and I cried afterwards. Hunger Games. Read all. I have not seen the third movie. Read all 3 books. I think all the books are great. Silver Linings Playbook. Owned the movie. Read the book. They're both different, but still awesome, funny. It's a book about an old dog named Enzo, and he looks back on his life and his owner's life and their family, and yeah, and it's super funny and sad, and it's such a good book. The Fangirls is a book I did not really like, and it introduced me to fan fiction, which, I do not like most of fan fiction. But, you know, if you like fan fiction and you write fan fiction, go ahead, you do it. You know, it's your life, you do your things. You know, I can't stop you from doing it. And then, of course, John Green, which no explanation needed. Famous young adult author. Out of all I don't own all his books, but my favorite one is Paper Towns. Unwind series is a fictional world where the United States has a post-Civil War world between the pro-life and abortion debate. And I've seen people say it's heavily pro-life propaganda, but it does raise some serious questions. I think people should read about it, and there should be serious civil discussion, not violent, just like, you know, people blowing up abortion clinics isn't the right way to do it and right way to send a good message. Linwood Barclay, Trust Your Eyes is a very good book. It's about a guy who like spends his time on like almost like every waking hour online looking something like Google Street Views, and like he puts everything he sees through like that street view. Like it's not actually Google Street View, but it's like a fictional version in that book, but everything he sees in it, he memorizes. Like, he can tell you what building on what street of New York is that. Like, like, tell me, like, what street, like, oh, how do I get from this place in London to there? And he can tell you. Web Griffin's Empire series, I plan to buy more. It's a really good about just, like, kind of, like, the whole OSS back, like, pre-CIA stuff, and, like, kind of fictional about, Nazis in Argentina and stuff, and yeah, and then there's Moscow Rules, which is super awesome kind of book about, like, KGB and Russia. And then there's The Little Old Lady Who Broke All the Rules, which is a super funny book. It is absolutely funny. Oh, I laughed so many times out in public, and people stared at me so weird. It's basically old people who rob banks and stuff, and casinos and other things, and go on other hijinks. Yes, old people, like, in walkers and canes, robbing like rich people. It is, like, super funny.